What's up guys, Nathan here, and today I want to talk about the one flop betting mistake that I see a lot of amateurs making these days, and it might be costing you money at the poker table. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so what is the big mistake? The mistake is continuation betting on bad flops, and don't worry, I'm going to walk you through a bunch of flop board textures today. We're going to talk about the bad flops that you need to avoid c-betting on right now, continuation betting, and I'm going to explain what that term means in a second. So don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. We're going to talk all about the flop today. We're going to break it down, the crucial stage of the hand on the flop. You need to know how to read the board correctly. So number one, what is a continuation bet? All right, so a continuation bet is when you raise pre-flop and then you go ahead and continue your aggression by betting again on the flop. Now we need to make sure that we're betting on the right flops though, because the entire point is to get them to fold. Guys, remember when we go to the flop with a hand like ace queen, ace jack, something like that, for example, you're going to miss the flop 2 out of every 3 times. I know it's sad but true. So we need to make sure that we're betting in the right situations where we're likely to get the most folds out of them. All right, so let's break it down first by the flops you need to avoid c-betting on. C-betting, continuation betting, when I say that, I mean the exact same thing. I'm talking specifically about boards like 9-8-6 with 2 clubs, 7-5-4 with 2 diamonds. You should avoid c-betting on these highly coordinated and wet flops, and here is the reason why. The biggest reason why you want to avoid continuation betting on boards like this is because these kind of flops absolutely nail the pre-flop calling range of our opponents. And guys, let's remember when we raise pre-flop, what hands are our opponents, 1 or 2, however many callers we got, what hands are they likely to have called us with pre-flop? Well, it's probably not hands like aces, kings, queens, ace, king, stuff like that, because they would have re-raised us pre-flop. No, when they decide to just flat call us pre-flop, they're often going to have a litany of hands like this: Jack 10 suited, 10-9 suited, all these suited connectors, right? 9-8 suited, 8-7 suited, 7-6 suited, 5-4 suited. How about some suited aces like ace-9 suited, ace-8 suited, ace-7 suited, ace-6 suited, ace-5 suited. You guys get the idea. And how about some mid-pocket pairs all the way down to baby pocket pairs, pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s, and so on. You guys get the idea. Now, the only thing you need to ask yourself on boards like 9-8-6 with 2 clubs, 7-5-4 with 2 diamonds, what do all these hands think about these flops? Well, I think you guys already know they absolutely love these flops. They've all connected with these flops in some sort of way. They've got some sort of pair, they've got 2 pair, they've got a pair plus a flush draw, they've got 2 pair plus a flush draw, they've got 3 of a kind, they've got an overpair. I don't have enough fingers, so you guys understand what I'm talking about. All of these hands absolutely love these flops, and that's why they're not going to fold. All right, so next let's talk about what flops you should be c-betting instead. Well, these are going to be the majority of the flops. Flops like ace-6 deuce rainbow. When I say rainbow, by the way, I'm talking about a board that has 3 different suits: 7-7-4 with 2 spades, queen 3-3 with 2 diamonds, king 4-9 with 2 spades. I think you guys get the idea. We're talking about ace high flops. We're talking about paired flops here, king high flops. Basically flops where there's not a lot of stuff going on. There's maybe a flush draw here and there, but ultimately these flops do not hit all those hands that we just talked about. They don't hit them nearly as hard. In fact, what do these flops hit? They hit our range. Yes, all of these flops are much better for our perceived range. If you read my first book, Crushing the Micro Stakes, you know what a perceived range means, but I'll explain it quickly here as well. When we raise pre-flop, guys, we are representing a clear range in the mind of most of our opponents, and those are big Broadway hands like an ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack, ace-10, king-queen, king-jack, a lot of hands like that, pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens. Now, of course, when we do raise pre-flop, we actually do have a lot of these hands, not always, but we definitely do a lot of the time, and so boards like this are likely going to give us much more equity and have them drawing very slim. For example, if we have ace queen and the flop comes down ace 6 deuce, that's a really good flop for us, and it's a really bad flop for 7 8 of hearts or something, for examples. So guys, I really want to finish up here by giving you a sort of quick sort of cheat sheet, if you will, of how to look at flop board textures, and it's actually pretty simple. The best way to look at it is actually just to memorize the flop board textures to avoid betting on, because like I said, it's the minority of them. It's boards like 9 8 6 with 2 clubs, 7 5 4 with 2 diamonds, basically highly coordinated wet flop board textures like these. And when I say highly coordinated, I'm talking about 3 of those sort of middling cards in a row. We already talked about how those kind of cards hit their calling range so hard, and also flops that have a flush draw on them, and especially if we're not blocking those flush draws, meaning that, for example, there's 2 diamonds on the board and we don't have a diamond in our hand, therefore we do not block it, meaning that it's more likely that they can have 2 diamonds having a flush draw, ultimately meaning they're not going to fold. And finally, you want to especially avoid c-betting on these handful of boards like this when you're out of position versus a calling station. Definitely the recreational players, and definitely the more sticky regulars as well, who don't like to fold. If you're playing online poker, you can simply look at their fold to flop c-bet statistic using a program like Poker Tracker, for example, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about what kind of player type you're up against and if they're likely to fold. But guys, the bottom line is all you really need to do is just memorize these boards. 9 8 6 2 clubs, 7 5 4 2 diamonds. And again, the suits don't really matter. I want you guys to understand is these middling kind of boards with cards in between, say 5 all the way up to 10, where they're all in there. There's going to be a lot of straight possibilities. Definitely boards with a flush draw where you do not block those draws once again, and boards when you are out of position, meaning that you are first to act, by the way, and there is a person who likes to call a lot. These are situations where if you have a hand like ace king or ace queen, for example, the best play for you in these situations is often to check instead of betting and just throwing away money. And of course, the beautiful thing is that these are the minority of boards. The vast majority of boards are the other ones that we just went through: the ace 6 deuce rainbow, the 7 7 4, the king 8 5. You guys get the idea. Most boards are not highly coordinated and not wet like this, and you're simply going to get an easy fold out of them. That's literally 80-90% of flops. So all you really need to do is just memorize these handful of ones, these highly coordinated action heavy boards, and avoid c-betting on those ones, and I think you guys will have a lot more success at the poker tables. So let me know in the comments below what flop board textures you bet and which ones you don't bet on. Also like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Also grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. That'll be the top link in the description below. I'll catch you next week. It's been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.